Will Michael Malone get his team ready for a championship run, or will Michael Malone run his team into the ground? Let's answer that question coming up next. What up, Nuggets Nation? All right, let's talk some hoops here. Let's talk about what the last bit of March and the early beginnings of April mean for the Denver Nuggets. Will I get to buy another one of these? I sure would like to. Let's talk about Coach Malone specifically and what we're going to learn here probably over the next, let's call it 7 to 10 days, how they handle Aaron Gordon and the third injury to Aaron Gordon's right calf. He's already missed multiple games with the right calf strain, came back, missed more games with the right calf strain, and now here we are, Aaron Gordon dealing with a right calf strain. There are, off the top of my head, I think it's 17 games left for the Denver Nuggets. I think it's like 16 for the Colorado Avalanche, and they're usually right there within the wheelhouse of one another. This is what I want to see out of Coach Malone, Denver Nuggets, and how he uses Aaron Gordon specifically. Now, is there some wiggle room on either side of the conversation I'm about to have? Absolutely. But the games played is what matters. So let's call it the 17 games. There are 7 of those games that will come in the month of April before the postseason starts. 1 back-to-back in the month of April. Denver, as of today, has 3 more, and the final one will come the very first 2 games in April. Aaron Gordon should play in 5, here's that wiggle room I'm talking about, maybe 6 of the last 7 or 8 games. And that's it. Michael Malone said the other night when they were wrapping up the road trip before they came home for tonight's game against Minnesota and then Friday against the Lakers, that Aaron Gordon would be reevaluated when they get back home, but they only expect him to miss a few games. When I heard that from Coach Malone, my antennas went up immediately. And I said, a few games? What are we doing here? Did we learn nothing from the 2 previous injuries? Did we learn nothing from the playoff push that they made last year and then how the playoffs ended last year with Minnesota ending their season at home in Game 7? Malone chased seeds. Malone chased a higher seed last year. He said in that final 27 games, we want to earn the number 2 seed. Well, they accomplished that. And then what did they do to the team? They looked dead tired. Jamal Murray was not even half of the version of himself. I don't want that again. And I think they're setting up that. I think they're setting that up with Aaron Gordon specifically, because like I said, why would Malone say just a few games? And who's checking coach? Is David Adelman, that's the assistant coach down there, is he going to be the one that says, hey, Michael, what are we doing here? There's 17 games left, and we're going to need 50. Now he's 32 in the postseason. You can't put pressure on him. You can't ask him to play hurt right now, because what's going to happen? One, either that calf injury is going to linger the way that it's lingered for the last 2.5, 3 months, or I hate that I'm even going to say this, knock on wood, fingers are crossed as I speak, something worse happens and the strain turns into an Achilles or a long-term serious injury. And then what would that mean for next year for Aaron Gordon? So I asked you guys, about a week ago? Whenever you say about a week ago, do you do about a week ago? Because I do. Matthew does it too. He's laughing. About a week ago, I asked if Russell Westbrook can keep his basketball ego in check. Now I got to ask the same question about Coach Malone. Can Coach Malone keep his basketball ego in check? And I get it, man. When you're the head coach of a team, be it basketball, baseball, hockey, or football, your job is to win games. Win games in the regular season so that you could go get into the tournament and see what happens in the postseason. But, Coach, you're safe, man. Your job is safe. There's been conversations this year, if things go wrong, would it be Calvin Booth upstairs or Michael Malone down on the bench that could be sitting on a hot seat? I am here to tell you, I've talked with several people. I feel really good about a couple of these people that I've talked to. Michael Malone is going nowhere. Where's Coach going? Nowhere. Malone will be the coach of the Denver Nuggets as long as Nikola Jokic is the center and star player of the Denver Nuggets. That relationship cannot be broken. It is a bond that is just beyond basketball, and he is safe for that. Calvin, on the other hand, that's a conversation for down the road that we're going to have. But can he check that basketball ego? You don't have to go 20-7 in these last 27 games like you did a year ago. Heck, at this point, I would be okay with 500 over the last 18, 17 games, whatever we decide upon the final number is. Seeding does not matter. You know why it doesn't matter, Coach Malone? Because we can go back to last year's postseason run when you lost to these Minnesota Timberwolves on your own home hardwood. You lost 3 games in that series at home. So does it really matter? You're really chasing a higher seed so that you can have home court advantage with a banged up Aaron Gordon, with a Jamal Murray that he's either fighting off an injury or a play away from being injured at all times. I would love to see even Nikola get some rest down the stretch. Jamal get some rest down the stretch. And I don't want to see Aaron Gordon play basketball at all in the month of March. It's over for AG. He should shut it down. And if he doesn't, look, the Nuggets can win some basketball games. We just watched them beat Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City without Aaron Gordon. But that's because they got a B or better effort from Michael Porter Jr. Jamal and Joker went nuts. They both had 34 points and north of 6 assists. By the way, they're the first duo to do that in the NBA since, or the first Nugget duo to do that since Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson did it all those years back. So when those things are right, you can win basketball games without Aaron Gordon. So that would be my challenge to Coach Malone, is figure out how you get the best version of Jamal Knightley. I'm not even asking for the best version of Michael Porter Jr. because that would lead to me being insane, right? Expecting a different result with the same statisticals or everything that goes into it. You're insane. Screwed that up, but you know what I mean. So I'm not going to ask Michael to be this A-plus player anymore, because then I'm just disappointed and creates resentment in my life for a guy that I don't even know. So a B from Michael Porter Jr., energy, effort, and efficiency from Jamal Murray. You get those 3 E's, and we all know what Joker's going to do. The dude's the hashtag Serbian basketball god. He's unstoppable, undeniable every single night. So if you can get the 3 E's from Jamal and a B effort from Michael Porter Jr., some nights he might turn into an A player, but that's going to be few and far between. This team can beat anybody in the West. This team can still keep their spot with the number 2 seed in the West if Aaron Gordon doesn't play. If you get those 3 things out of Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and Michael Porter Jr. There's another layer to this, but like I talked about with MPJ, if I expect anything out of the bench, then I'm going to throw a brick through my television when I watch the Denver Nuggets. But they are 27th right now in the NBA with bench points. There's only 30 teams, guys. They're 27th at about 26 points per game. That's the wheelhouse. Don't expect any more from that, right? We watched Peyton Watson the other night have a big night shooting the corner 3. When Julian's right, he can get right, go off from time to time. Russ, I'm not really going to put a lot into that. Maybe Aaron Gordon coming off the bench in some of those games down the stretch can help with the bench points, but that's what you need. 20 to 25 points from any of the combination. That's Peyton Watson. You won't see Julian Strawther, but Jalen Pickett's going to get some run. Heck, Zeke Naji has shown that he can put the ball in the basket. So you need 20 to 25 points from your bench. You need a B or better effort from Michael Porter Jr., and you need Jamal Murray to be efficient, energized, and what was my 3rd E? He needed to be efficient, he needed to be energized, and he needed to be I forgot the 3rd E. I want to say emotional, but that's not right. But that's what you need out of Jamal. And Joker's always going to be Joker. So you get those things, Denver can still be the number 2 seed. They can still have home court advantage if that matters to you throughout the first couple of rounds in the playoffs, and then figure out what happens with the other teams. You still could have home court if you get out of round number 2. You do those things, you can sit Aaron Gordon for all but 6, 7, 8 tops down the stretch so that calf is as healthy as it has been. I mean, man, we got to go back to September, October, when they're just getting going for Aaron Gordon to be right. They can get those things, the Nuggets are going to be just fine. If they don't, it's going to be another early exit in the NBA playoffs. Nuggets Nation, love to hear what you think. You tell me how you feel about Michael, Jamal, and Joker carrying the weight while Aaron Gordon gets right. I'm terrified that it's going to happen, man. I truly am. I am terrified that Coach Malone is going to run his team into the ground before they can officially start their championship run. You tell me how you feel on the comments. I'll circle back and we'll have a conversation on YouTube while you're there. Like and subscribe everything we're doing here at Denver Sports YouTube, and we'll talk to you next week. This has been Dover on Denver, and now I'm done.